Hello YouTube, it's Barbara Jean. Now I wanted to finish what I was saying before. This is the revelation that the Lord gave me this morning. And it's not so much that it has a super profound impact on anything, I don't think, except for the fact that it illustrates that we are in the last days, we're in the days of Noah. Um, Also, I wanted to show you that the church is dispensational. Like, people won't tell you that the church is dispensational. It is. It is dispensational. The last 2,000 years, the church has been in dispensation of the seven seals. And that the last seal is the seal of the rainbow. It's the rainbow seal. And isn't it interesting? As in the days of Noah, we got the rainbow everyone flying the six-color seal of rainbow flag, which by the rainbow is actually seven colors. But the corrupted world is flying this six-color rainbow flag, mocking the Lord. And the church is indeed dispensational. Okay, it is dispensational. That's why the sixth church, the sixth seal, and then you get the seventh church, the seventh seal. Something interesting. I really put it together, although I did, but I didn't, and I just wanted to show it to you. Um, I'm I'm sorry, I'm not going to be looking directly at the camera. I'm just looking at this little green light up here. So sometimes I look up there, but when I put on my Bible, anyway, my eyes won't be focused properly. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, I wanted to go to Revelation chapter 4 for a moment and read about the rainbow in Revelation chapter 4. And this is talking about God, who's on the throne, this is God the Father. John is invited to come see the happenings in heaven. Okay. And here is God being described in heaven as John was seeing him, or was able to, his best ability to describe this amazing being, God the Father on the throne, an amazing being. And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne, and that sat was to look upon like jasper and a sardine stone, and there was a rainbow round about the throne in the sight like unto an emerald. And now someone had said something I thought was interesting, or I thought, well, this is another wind of doctrine, another confusion going on out there. Why they think that this John coming up here is when John was invited up to heaven, that this had to be the rapture of the church, because the 24 elders and around about the throne were 24 seats, and upon the seats were 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold, and out of the throne proceeding lightning and thunders and voice. And there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which were the 7 spirits of God. These 24 elders doesn't say exactly where. I believe that these are raptured saints. I believe that these are not the raptured saints. This is not the church. But when you recall that when Jesus rose from the dead, that the graves were open and the saints rose with him, there was a group of people, I believe, probably men, and I believe it was probably these 24 elders, at least these 24 elders, who were raised with him at his resurrection. And when Jesus rose in his, was taken up to go back to his Father, that these 24 elders went with him. That is just my assumption. I don't know for sure, but to me that makes sense. That these 24 elders, this is not the rapture of the church. It cannot be, because it doesn't have all the signs that God said that would accompany all the things that happened. Basically, when John was taken up, the signs that Jesus said would happen when he came back for his church hadn't yet occurred. They only occur in chapter 6 of the 6th seal. That's when the same signs that happen in Matthew 24 occur. So this is not the rapture of the church, Because here John is being invited up to see what was going on in heaven when Jesus returned to his throne to present himself to his Father. He's now presenting himself to his Father, but he's not alone in his presentation. He's brought with him the 24 elders. He's brought with him those who were raised um, uh, from the grave at his resurrection. And they were taken up with him to be presented to God at the same time that he is also being presented. Okay, that's my take on the whole thing. So those people who are saying, oh, that's the rapture of the church because the 24 elders are there. No, it's not. Now, I wanted to go to Revelation chapter 10, starting at verse 1. Now, this is where I wanted to really go to in this video. And it's not going to be a very long video, not compared to the last one. And I want to read the whole thing, and I want you to see something that it just occurred to me. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head. And his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as the pillar of fire. And he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot upon the earth. And he cried with a loud voice, and as when a lion roareth. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voice, and uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voice, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which are the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. And the angel which I saw standing upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven, and sware by him that liveth for ever and ever, who created heaven and the things that therein are, and the earth and the things that therein are, and the sea, that there should be no time, there should be time no longer, but in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God shall be finished, as he hath declared to his servants and the prophets. Now, what I thought was interesting about this, suddenly it occurred to me, here is a perfect example of the church being dispensational. Now, how do I mean by that? We see the 7th seal has been opened. After chapter 6, the 6th seal, we see the rapture of the church in the church in heaven in chapter 7, and in chapter 8, we have the 7th seal being opened. The 7th seal is now opened. Now you have this fire and brimstone scenario happening. Great earthquakes, trumpets sounding, all kinds of despair. Things are falling apart. Wormwood comes on the earth. The world is going through hell right now. Okay, but chapter all the way to the okay, let's go back to what I was saying. Chapter 10, we see this angel, and he has a rainbow around his head. Again, is this a coincidence that this angel has a rainbow around his head? No, as it were in the days of Noah. This covenant, he's the covenant angel that that God is not going to destroy the earth with water. But as in the days of Lot, he will destroy the world with fire, which is what he begins to do in Revelation chapter 8 at the 7th seal. The 7th church is told that they will be chastised as by fire. Revelation chapter 3, this is the Laodicean church, the last day church, the last church. Because they were lukewarm, they're going to be spit out. But it says, I counsel thee to, verse 18 of chapter 3 of Revelation, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire. Okay, so these people are going to be tried in the fire. They are the last day church, they're the left behind church, they're the sped out church because of their lukewarmness, because they didn't follow and were obedient to Christ as God told them to be. They had some truth, they also held to some untruth. They were in the world, and they weren't fully out of the world. They hadn't really fully committed themselves to God. Okay, they were being led by false doctrines and false teachers. Now, what I thought was interesting about this angel, Revelation chapter 10, was, let's go to actually Revelation chapter 1. Let's go to Revelation chapter 1. And here's Christ talking to John. And John is, my program's not working properly. It's bouncing around here and it's not giving me the information. It's just bouncing around like crazy. Very strange. Okay. Revelation, it's just not, it's not cooperating with me. It's very strange. My Bible app is not working properly. Let me just see if I can find it again. See if I can work it again. Sorry about that, people. Okay. It's working very slowly. Like some kind of spirit has got a hold of my Bible app. Doesn't want me to reveal these things. Okay, no, still not working properly. Isn't that strange? It's really strange. It's not letting me work. It's not letting me get this information. Oh my gosh, this is weird. Spiritual warfare in progress. Okay, well, let me just use my Bible. I tell you, this is really strange. Okay, let me just use my Bible, since there's only a couple of verses I want to go to. And it's all in the book of Revelation. Spiritual warfare in progress, people. Okay. All right, there we go. Wow, isn't that interesting? Spiritual warfare in progress. Okay, so here we go in chapter 1 of Revelation. And Jesus says to John, verse 17, and when I saw him, hold on just a second, make sure I got the right thing. Okay. Verse 17, and when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead, and he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, Fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive and forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. Write the things which thou hast seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter. The mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand, and the golden candlesticks, the 7 stars, are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches. Interesting. Okay. This is what the Lord was showing me, was that the Lord has let me see if I can find that actual verse here. Okay. Verse 12 and the same chapter. And I turned and to see the voice spake unto me, being turned, I saw the 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to his foot, and girded about with the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hair were white like wool, white as snow, and his eyes were as flames of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as they burned in the furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth were a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength. So then this is the way Jesus goes down and he describes or explains to him what he was looking at, what these symbols were. The stars in his hand and the candlesticks in front of him were symbols of something else. The candlesticks were the symbol of his 7 churches, of his 7 dispensations, of the perfection of his bride, of his church, of his body. And the 7 stars were the angels that were in charge or represented or protected these churches. These 7 angels are the protection or the guardians of these churches. Now you have here in Revelation chapter 10, you have the Laodicean church, which is 7th seal. It's the 7th church. It's the lukewarm church who have to live through this turmoil that's going to come upon the world. But here you have in chapter 10 this angel that shows up, and he's massive. He's huge. He's the only angel that's described in the book of Revelation in such detail. We hear about these other angels, that there's other angels that are who've been protecting the churches throughout these 7 or the 6 dispensations before the rapture of the church. But the 7th church is the one that is his angel described in full detail. That is what this is going on in chapter 10. He's one of the angels that's described in chapter 1 of Revelation. He is the angel of the church of Revelation. Isn't that amazing? I don't know why I didn't put that together before. But that's what's happening. He is the angel of the 7th church. He is the protector of the church. He is the one who's guarding the church. And what's interesting about him is he's got a rainbow on his head, as it was in the days of Noah, when the destruction shall come upon them. And it's interesting about him is that he's got some words to say. He's going to be speaking. He gives this word to John to eat. Now that's further on in the chapter. Let's actually finish that. Let's just read that whole chapter again. Chapter 10 of Revelation. Okay? And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face as it were as the sun, and his feet the pillar of fire. So he comes down. And he comes to the earth. Why? Because he's the 7th dispensational angel. He's the church. He's the angel of the 7th dispensation. He's the church, the guardian of the church of Laodicea. He's the last day angel. He's the church. I'm just getting so mixed up in my words here. He is the Laodicean angel. He's the angel of the 7th church. That's why I'm saying to you that you can see that the church is dispensational. The 6th angel, the 6th church, the 6th seal, the rapture of the church of Philadelphia, the door that opens that no man can shut, shuts and no man can open. And then you have the Laodicean church. And here is the angel, and it's described. That is described in Revelation chapter 1. Isn't that exciting? That's exciting. Okay, now let's continue. Let's just read it. And he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea and his left foot upon the earth. Now, why did he do that? Now, I always thought, why did he do that? Because I feel like that what he's saying here is that he is going to, this is judgment for those who are of the earth, which is people who are born on this earth, and those creatures that have been created and are also living upon this earth, the Nephilims and all those rest of the people, or the mutant people who have been created to live upon this earth. That's why he has one foot on the earth and one foot in the sea. It's interesting that Darwin says that we should all evolve. We've evolved and be created from the sea. We came up from the earth. The sea is little um, cells and slimy things, and we came up from the sea. No, that we didn't. We came from the earth, but they came from the sea because they were created, and that's their theology. They're created beings. But it's not ours. Those who are of the earth are of the earth. But this angel has his foot on the earth and on the sea. And he cried up with a loud voice, verse 3, and when a lion roareth, and when he had cried, seven thunders uttered their voice. And when the seven thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the seven thunders uttered, and write them not. So John wasn't allowed to write them. These seven thunders were important messages to this church. These seven thunders are judgments and wrath and messages and prophecies and things that were going to be spoken during the last days, during the seventh seal, during the seventh church, during the time of the two prophets and the 144,000. And these seven seals were spoken because John is seeing things from the past of the future. And so God is hiding these words from those who are going to participate in this time, so that they're hidden and a mystery until that time is fulfilled. So that's why he's not allowed to write them. But what's interesting is that he utters these words. He's holding a book, and in this book are the same prophecies, the same words. And he gives the book to John. Now, let me just go on to that. Tells them not to write them. Verse 5, an angel which I saw standing upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven, and sware by him that liveth for ever and ever, who created heaven and the things that therein, and the earth and the things that are therein, the sea and the things which are therein, and that there should be time no longer, as in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, he shall begin to sound. The mysteries of God shall be finished, as he hath declared to the servants of his prophet. So this angel is the covenant angel, basically, that God will not, because he has a rainbow on his head, he's reminding the Lord that he cannot destroy the earth with water. But that does not mean there will not be destruction other ways. We've already seen wormwood, we've already seen fire and brimstone, and now we have this angel who is now protected, the guardian of the last day church, and he is, I guess, maybe reminding the Lord that he cannot destroy the earth with water. But nonetheless, he has a prophecy. He has words and he swears to the Lord something very important, that he makes a covenant with the Lord. Very interesting. And this is during the last day church. This is during the Laodicean church. This is the angel of the Laodicean church. And the voice which I heard from heaven, verse 8, spake unto me again, and said, go and take this little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. So John is now told to take the book from the seventh church. Now, why would he do that? Why would John be told to take this book from the seventh angel of the seventh church? To take it. Now listen to what he says. Verse 9, and I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it, and it shall be in thy belly bitter, and it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, as it were in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. He's given the words of prophecy. He's given this word, and he's told, you're going to go, John, you're going to go back and you're going to prophesy during the period of the seventh church, during the period of the seventh angel of the seventh church, the Laodicean church with the rainbow on his head. You're given these words of prophecy that the seventh angel just finished uttering, but are not allowed to speak out loud until it actually comes to pass in the future. And you're going to be part of that future. You're going to be the one who's going to prophesy. That's what this means. This is amazing stuff. Wow. God is so amazing. And then you have immediately the prophecy of the two witnesses show up in chapter 11. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence. Because John has now got this book and he's eaten it, and he is going to be one of the two witnesses that show up at the building of the third temple. And he will be one of the two witnesses. This is an amazing book. I love this book. It just keeps opening up. God keeps showing me things. I'm just like, I'm amazed. So anyway, I think that's all I'm going to say. Like I said, it's a little bit shorter than the last one. Still a long video, but still, we are living in amazing times, people. Amazing times. This is fabulous, and I'm so excited. Like I said, the Lord keeps doing brain surgery. So although you don't see me as often as perhaps you had in the past, the Lord's still working with me. He's still doing things. He's still rearranging things in my head and helping me see, I guess, when the time is right, that this is now time to reveal this. It's time to reveal that. Time to reveal this. And this is another proof to you, another sign to you. We are in the days of Noah, but also that the church is dispensational. Those people who tell you the church is not dispensational, they're wrong. The church is dispensational. We see the seventh seal. We see the sixth seal. We see the church of Philadelphia being removed from the hour of tribulation. From great conflict and trial, which we do see. And it's going to be times when people are eating and drinking and making merry, and haven't got a care in the world. And all of a sudden destruction comes upon them. One will be taken, one will be left. This baptism is getting into the ark. It's obvious. It's there. It's in your face. If you can't see it, you're being deceived. Or you're listening to false prophets who are not telling you the truth. Then you've got this fabulous introduction to this angel. The angel, the seventh church that we talked about in Revelation chapter 1. There they are, the seven angels. And we get to see an actual angel, what he's referring to, who comes down upon the earth and is now the one guardian. He's the one that making sure that everything works out the way it's supposed to. And he swears to the Lord. And he gives the book of prophecy to John, who tells him to eat it. And says, you're going to go back and you're going during the time of the seventh angel, during the seventh dispensation of the church, when the Laodicean church is on the earth and they're going through their struggles and tribulations. You're going to be the one there. And you're going to swear to the Lord and you're going to do what you're supposed to do. And he does. It's amazing. What an amazing book. Anyway, I will talk to you later. God bless.